Hi guys, welcome. My name is Megan. I'm from the Kamloops Museum and Archives. Some of you may know me as the museum educator there. Now, this is Jordan, and we are going to be making bread pudding today. Before we begin, I would like to just take a moment to acknowledge that we are on the traditional and unceded territory of the Kamloops Te-Secwepemc First Nations people. So we are going to try out a few of the recipes from the recipe books we have in our archival collection at the KMA here at home while we're stuck at home. So today we're going to be making bread pudding. It's from the Ladies Auxiliary to the Royal Inland Hospital cookbook, which was published, I believe, sometime in the 1960s. Originally cost $1.25 per copy, and you can tell that the cookbook we have in our collection was really well loved because it's obviously been used, and that's something I always look for in a cookbook. You want something that has been well loved and well used because obviously those recipes are the best ones. So to get started today, we have 2 cups of breadcrumbs that Joe and I made together, and these breadcrumbs are going to get mixed with some warm milk. So 2 cups of breadcrumbs. In the cookbook it's a pint of breadcrumbs. I had to look up what that would be in cups. So the milk is heating on the stove right now, and we're going to mix it together with our breadcrumbs. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you going to be our master stirrer? Yeah. Okay, let's pour the warm milk in then. And here you go, I'm going to give you your spoon, okay? Okay, so you hold your spoon. Oh, hold it at the top. Hold it at the top, honey. Yep, there you go. All right, let's pour this in, and then your job is to stir, 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 stir. Don't forget the crumbs over there. Good stuff. Awesome. There we go. Okay, so now that that's all mixed up, we're gonna set it off to the side, and we're gonna give it a chance to cool for a little bit while we mix up the butter, the eggs, and the sugar. So I'm gonna just set this over to the side here, and Jordan Joe, I'm gonna get you to use your fork. And so we're gonna cream our 1/4 cup of butter. You can see we've got a 1/4 cup of butter in here with 1/2 cup of sugar. So here's our 1/2 cup of sugar. So I'm gonna pour this in, we'll cream it all together. Can you cream that one all together? That means mix, 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 mix.
Oh.
Mix, mix, mix. That's okay.
I need my spoon.
Well, we use a fork for creaming usually. So see, you go like this. Mush, mush, mush. Mush, mush, mush.
Where's mine?
Your spoon is in the breadcrumbs. Do you want to grab it? Okay.
Oh.
So we'll mush, mush, mush this one all together.
Mush, mush, mush.
Mush, 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 mush. So we're going to cream together the butter and the sugar. So one of the things that I found really interesting about this cookbook is that a lot of it is written in almost in shorthand, you know, so we're using a lot of measurements that we might not use anymore, and a lot of things are sort of missing from some of the recipes. Like often they won't say things like grease the pan or things like that. So just some interesting shorthand that's happening in those cookbooks during a time when people often would cook a lot more at home, and would probably be more familiar with making things like bread pudding. Also some really interesting recipes, lots of like fish with custard and stuff like that. All right, so now that our butter and sugar is all creamed together, are you ready to add the eggs?
I'll do that one.
Okay, you can help me with your spoon. Can you help me stir the eggs in as we add them? So we've got our 1/4 cup of butter, our 1/2 cup of sugar, and now we're gonna add 3 eggs. So we'll add these eggs. All right, and you're gonna stir them in. Oh. Okay, you stir them in. Stir, stir, stir.
I like it.
Good job. So there's 2
I got it.
and 3. All right. Perfect. Okay, and you stir. I'm just gonna wash my hands a little bit because they've got raw egg on them. Okay. Fabulously fabulous. I'm going to help you stir, so we'll really cream these eggs into this mixture as well. So we've got 3 eggs, 1/4 cup of butter, 1/2 cup of sugar, all creamed together. So cream, 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 cream. Yep, mix, mix, mix. So our mixture is starting to get nice and frothy, you can see in there. Okay, now we have a few more things that we're going to add. So Jordan Joe, you're going to be in charge of stirring. So we're going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. So can you mix that vanilla all in there? And we're going to put in a pinch of salt. So, there we go. All right, and you can mix that one in as well.
Am I touching?
Yeah. Stir, stir, stir. Oh, there's a little bit of sugar right up here on the bowl. Can you scrape that part in? Yeah. Good job. Awesome. All right, so I think that's enough stirring now. So we've got our breadcrumbs with the milk in there. That's cooling. We've got our eggs and butter and vanilla and sugar, and that's all creamed up together. So now it's time for us to get out our cooking pan. So we have our pre-greased an 8x8 cooking pan, and of course we've preheated our oven to 350 degrees. Now this bread pudding is going to bake for 40 minutes before it's ready. Can you hold on to your spoon to help me? All right. So let's get our pan, and we are going to pour our breadcrumbs and our butter and sugar and egg mixture all into this pan, okay? So once I get them all in there, it's going to be your job to mix them all up, Miss Jo. Okay, so pour in the breadcrumb mixture. So there's the breadcrumb mixture. You can see delicious, delicious breadcrumbs and warm milk. And now we're going to add this one. So Jo, can you start stirring for me? All right, let's stir, 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 stir. All right, and may I borrow your spoon for just a moment?
No. You may not.
Oh, thank you. All right, there you go. Keep stirring, kiddo.
Okay.
Great job. All right, so we want to make sure we get all the little corners too. Yep, good job. Now, the recipe did call for raisins. We don't have any raisins in the house, so I'm going to skip them. But if any of you endeavor to make this at your homes and you do decide to add raisins, please feel free to let us know how it turned out. It also said you could add some fruit or citron, which I wasn't sure what that was, so I didn't add any of that. But we'll see how this turns out, and maybe we'll add fruit next time we make it. Now we are going to pop this in the oven, so let's show them our mixture now that it's all stirred up, Jordan Jo. So you can see there's our mixture. We've got our eggs, we've got our breadcrumbs and warm milk, our sugar, our vanilla, and a little bit of salt. We're going to pop this guy into the oven. It's going to be in there for about 40 minutes, so we will restart our video then, and we'll see you in 40 minutes.
Those.
We're back. We took our bread pudding out of the oven. Now, it did take a little bit longer to cook than I anticipated. It took about 55 minutes, so closer to an hour than 40 minutes. And I wasn't really sure about the texture of it because it looked a little bit like Jell-O when I took it out. It's still a little wiggly on top. But you can see here, there's the bread pudding. And Jordan Jo is going to serve as our taste tester. So she has her cup of bread pudding here. So why don't you have a little taste, Jo, and tell us what you think.
Yum.
Yum! There we go. Thank you for all your hard work and help with making this recipe, my love. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.